That's it. The sum of your peers and the dangers of... I have post-it notes. Wait, show me the rest of the post-it note. And the dangers within. The inherent dangers of labels that bleed beyond helpful identity. Ooh, I must have been in the mood when I wrote that. All right, cool. Right, let's get stuck in. Hello, it's me. There is no auto-ducking here, which is a bit weird, so I'm going to have to manually auto-duck, which is a little bit weird, but I'm kind of used to it. Hello, welcome to another episode of Getting Shiggy With. I'm Shiggy, obviously. So this is episode 34. I think I got a little bit excited on YouTube and other places with the episode numbers, and I think I said it was like episode 35 or episode 36 or something crazy. And it is not. It is episode 34. We are still a long way from 100, so you still have to deal with me for a while. Yay! I hope you guys have had a great week so far. It's only Tuesday. I'm still bummed that I fractured my toe. I don't know if I said that on the last one, but yeah, I fractured my toe. And it's actually messing with my head a lot more than I thought it would be, because being restricted beyond how I want to restrict myself is a little bit of a weird thing to have, where it's just like, no, you cannot do stupid things. You cannot do your movement stuff. You cannot go climbing or go to the freaking gym, because weirdly enough, you need your big toe to do those things. Although actually with the gym, I called them up and said, hey, can I hobble around your gym with crutches and do upper body? And they're just like 100% absolutely. I'm just like, thank you, Gaines. Even though I'm wearing a shirt, if you're watching this live stream, I've got a shirt that says ladies quad squad. I have no quads. I'm team no carbs. My quads have disappeared. I think all I have left is a little shallow, like, case of what my upper body used to be like 2 years ago. It sucks. It sucks. And my sister from another mister, really good friend, Dash, yeah, it messes with your head for sure. So my friend Dashi, she posted a picture of her x-ray of her foot, her left foot. So I've got my right foot that's fractured. She looked at the x-rays again, and I swear if I saw these x-rays, I'd just been like, that's broken. She has a fractured, it says a sesamoid. I always get the words wrong. I can read it right, but like I read a lot and don't speak, English much. I think it's a sesamoid. So there's two little button bones that you have underneath your big toe, which is the ball of your foot. If you ever wondered why we call it the ball of your foot, because there's two little ball bones there. That's probably not why we call it the ball of your foot, but I made it up and it's going to stick. So there, it's stuck in your head rent free. She has a fracture on one of those, which is crazy, because she's been through all other things thinking it was like gout or whatever. But like, yeah, that's the thing. So we have solidarity at the moment with fractured foot things and the inability to do stuff. Sesamoid, there we go. That's the thing. It's just nice. I like having this interaction stuff. It's really fun. So yeah, today's episode, wow, big old left field thing. Pulling it back without the notes today. It's interesting talking about friends and stuff. The sum of your peers and the dangers within, and the inherent dangers of labels beyond helpful identity. So I think I know where this came from. I have, again, with work, I spoke about work in the last episode quite a bit. I create audio content for people. I edit it. I create it. I sexify your voice. I make you sound beautiful and all of these wonderful clickbaity words. But ultimately, I had a new client, and she is amazing. Is amazing. We're still working together, which is great. And with working for myself, I have decided to unapologetically be myself. As you are hearing the way I talked to you, to this podcast right now, so is how I talk to my clients. I send emojis, I send GIFs, I will send emails that don't have the hello and kind regards ending to it, because I'm like, I don't do that. I don't need it. Like, if you need to ping me a message, you ping me a message. Just like all this rigmarole and stuff is blah, 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 blah. Of course, if it's corporate, then I'll do the corporate. I'll play the corporate game. I have been in the theater, darling. that played out differently in my head. But yeah, so I had this new client, and I was excited, still excited, because we're doing some really fun experimental things. I love it when people come in with like, can you do this? I'm like, shit, I don't know. Let me try. Love it. Absolutely love it. And that was the energy of our conversation. The initial kind of just like, the feelers where you got two lions just kind of like checking each other out and circling around and being like, what do you do? Like, I do stuff. What do you do? Like, I do stuff too. So mad excited. And beyond that, like, I realized the thing I was doing, the way I was just kind of going off on tangents and coming back and going off on another tangent and coming back, and just lots of tangentializing, that word, fragmenting across the board and coming back together. She was on board with me. And I kind of realized I was doing this. I said, look, I'm really, really sorry. I've got ADHD, and, I have a bit of a squirrel brain, just going on and on and on and on, and just kind of like explaining myself. And she's like, we don't do labels here. And I was like, ooh, that's fair. That's a fair point. That's a very fair point. And that's probably why I wrote this on a Post-it note, because knowing what you are, identifying what you are, who you are, what you do, why you do what you do is all well and good. But falling into the rabbit hole and sinking deep, deep, deep into the tarry pits of, it's not identity politics, although it does kind of brush onto that, but deep into the world of hyper belonging, kind of having your label, then your sub-label, then your sub-label, then you're kind of like in-betweenies, and you're just kind of like ninja slicing all of these labels to kind of turn yourself into a World of Warcraft character, is dangerous, because knowing who you are is great. Knowing what you stand for, perfect. But ultimately, hyper boxing yourself in to what you can almost describe as like a little doll drawer, just like, this is who I am. This is what I do. Like, you've completely alienated yourself way too far into just, your own little box of one, where you might kind of see other people in their respective boxes of ones. And as humans, we are not completely individualized. Like, that's not what we're designed to do. We don't just sit on our own kind of space. We do ultimately thrive in communities. So yeah, if you're waving hello to someone else in their little space, we are creatures. We're social creatures. We need to be around each other, whether it's in a light of high energy, talking, connecting, communicating, when you're a full on extrovert, or whether it's sitting in a library or a quiet space with just other people doing quiet things and just loving the energy that you're around. Humans are social creatures. We are not islands of one. And I will fight to the death on that point, because my mother died from that, funnily enough. Or rather, she ended her life because she was an island of one. So I don't agree with it. I will fight you. So it's really important that, having these labels is a fun thing. Yes, like I'm going to say, it's weird that I feel uncomfortable with this, but I have my reasons why, being Kenyan. I'm a black queer woman, right? Black queer cis woman. And my pronouns are she, her. And that's fine, because that is what is necessary for society right now, to understand, to have allyship, to talk about things that need to be talked about. Any of those kind of spaces, that title that I have for that space is fine. There are places where that is not exactly necessary. When I'm doing security work and I'm working front line of a huge ass nightclub, right? I'm Shiggy and I'm female. That's it, right? That's where it is. If you need to know any more, I'm Dutch Kenyan. Again, that's it, right? A little bugbear that some I suppose third culture kids and I suppose fourth or fifth generation people of color have, is when someone comes up to you and they're like, where are you from? And I'm like, London. They're like, no. Where are you from? And I'm like, bro, I understand again, because labels help us understand and compartmentalize people. I understand why it happens, but I'm still not happy about it. I'm just like, you're basically saying, what kind of black are you? It's like, because I'm probably going to fetishize you if I'm not a black person and say, I dated a black person once. That happens. Or do you use cocoa butter on your skin? Because my girlfriend that I dated in university used cocoa butter and it's great. I'm like, great. So I'm part of your wank bank now. That's really fascinating. You know, or they'll be like, my grandmother owned property in Kenya. And I'm just like, oh, she's a colonizer. That's lovely. Yes, I'm sure her, you know, we've probably had the same children go to the same private school because I was privately educated. So that where are you from question is fucking annoying. But I can appreciate sometimes why people do it, because when you know where someone's from, where someone is from, I don't know why when is in there. The original location of someone, it brings familiarity, right? And familiarity makes us comfortable. So if I'm in a room, probably commanding the entire space because I need attention. No, it's just whatever. If I'm in a room and someone knows me, they will have a list of things that they will be able to use in a conversation to kind of associate with me. If they're a really good friend, then they have an encyclopedia to use. But you know, it's this association where it kind of builds rapport. So I'm talking to one person, and I see Bob in the corner. I'm like, "Hey, Bob!" And because we're talking about the structural integrity of the inside of a ping pong ball, that was a detention essay I had to do at college once, or rather threatened. I actually didn't do detention at college, but that was one of the essays that were threatened. I really wanted to do it. I really wanted to get detention so I could do it, but that's another story. Anyway, me and this other person, we're talking about the inside of ping pong balls and their structural integrity and why they don't collapse and everything. And Bob is in the corner and was like, dude, like, let's get Bob in here. Bob's a really good friend. Bob's also a third culture kid. He was educated in an international school in Sri Lanka, and he popped over to Kenya for a bit, and we played Unreal Tournament together, and he just like sniped the crap out of me. But anyway, he's a really good gamer, but like he loves talking about this bullshit too. And then he'd come over, right? So that's what we do, right? So labels help, super help, with reminders that we have for people, for associations, and for all that kind of stuff. So our status kind of gets elevated as a result, right? So here's a friend and I know this about them and you need to know about them because they know about this that you like and I like. And now we can kind of convene together and now we've become a little baby community for all of 2 minutes because small talk absolutely fucking kills me. And that's helpful. That's really, really helpful. When labels start getting abused, right? And used in the wrong space. I don't want to say bad spaces because there's no bad spaces. There's just timing, wrong timing for labels in certain spaces. I'll use my example, right? Because it's something I am battling with. That, you know, I don't outwardly say you might see a little bit of purple here and there, and you might see like a unicorn here and there and everything. I would not be openly my queer self. Like, this is how much I'm struggling with this. I would not be my openly queer self if, as and when I go back home to Kenya, because the whole LGBT space over there is not good. Okay. If I'm in the city, I might be okay. If the wrong person catches wind of it and they just don't like me, I could be dead. Okay. If you live in a Western city or anything, then this might be a little bit of an alien concept for you. Being killed for, yes, you can be killed for whatever reason. If the wrong people just don't like the way you look, right, it can be game over very fucking quickly. So me being part of the Q and the B in the LGBTQI plus